Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, everyone. Today we're doing a charity stream. So if you get the chance, please check out the links in the description and consider donating to one of the charitable links to one of the charitable organizations mentioned in the about me or the description of the video.
Hi.
What do we got going today? Well, just for fun, let's try to figure out what this one. So this one streamer is going to do a cooking stream pretty soon, and they have certain ingredients to work with. So we're going to try to think about this from the perspective of. We're going to try to think about this from the perspective of the hit television show Chopped that plays on a Food Network, and we're going to try to think about how they could how the streamer could make their recipe not necessarily traditional to what the recipe's calling for, but in the spirit of the recipe, using the ingredients that it calls for. So one of the recipes is prawn, tomato, and risotto. So we all know that risotto is Italian for short grain rice, which is what the Japanese use in sushi, if you did not know. Japanese short grain rice is also known as sushi rice, often used to cook things such as onigiri. That happens to be Brock from Pokemon's favorite food to produce. So, in theory, what the streamer could do is make fruit leather from the tomato and then cook the prawn and make sushi rice from the risotto, and then wrap the prawn to the sushi rice with the tomato leather once they wet it a bit to make it a bit looser. Um, so also maybe it might help to extract a little bit of starch from the risotto to use as binder to bind the tomato to the prawn for a little added stickiness. That's one possibility. Now another possibility they could do is another possibility might be, let's get off the road so we're not in such high traffic. Another possibility might be to let's see, what else could they do? They could make, oh gosh, low battery still. I really need to replace this battery. They could make rice starch from the risotto, extracting rice paper, and from, oh gosh, cougar. From the rice paper, they could. Okay. Let's think about some stuff for a moment. So let's just break down the risotto. So from the risotto, they can make rice. They can make rice paper. They can make sticky rice. They can make onigiri and sushi creations. Rice starch used in thickeners, binders. They could make rice dumplings from the rice starch. They could make a dumpling. They could make a cake-like substance. I think the Japanese call it mochi, from mashed rice. So rice cake or mochi. And that's just from the rice. Some other things they might be able to create are rice paper. I think I already mentioned that, though. Rice. What else can you make from rice? Rice sausage or boudin. So in theory, you might be able to use the rice paper as a lining to create rice sausage, rice cubes. So rice wrapped in rice paper. Rice noodles from the rice. Rice soup. So basically, or cream of rice, cream, any kind of cream of whatever is often made of a starch, often corn starch, but in this case you could use the rice starch to make a cream of. That substance you find that looks like glue that's in a can. So in theory, they could make a lot of different things. Chowders. Chowders often use cream of whatever to make chowder. So like your favorite clam chowder, I think uses potato starch or cream of potato with a mixture of actual potato chunks with clams. And I want to say a little bit of carrot in some recipes, or rice in some other recipe, or not rice, corn in some other recipes. But anyways, so that's all the things you could probably, that I can think of that you could do with the rice, with the risotto. And you got to remember that you're at an advantage using risotto because while it is Italian, it is a short grain rice, which makes it not too far in relation to Japanese sticky rice or sushi rice or Japanese short grain rice. So those are some options from the rice. Now from the prawn, you could make shrimp cocktail. I imagine something like shrimp cocktail with the prawn. You can make gumbo. You can make Creole. You can make what's that stuff called? It's made with lemon. Oh, you can make grilled prawn. So flat iron grilled prawn. What's that stuff with lemon? Tartar. You could make a tartar. You could make prawn burgers. So that wouldn't be too hard to do with the rice. What you could do is extract breading from the rice, from the risotto, and you could also extract starch from the risotto. And then use that starch and breading to make a burger from minced or diced prawn and make a patty. Fry that in oil, and then drizzle a bit of tomato sauce on top of that patty, and you've got basically prawn burger steak instead of hamburger steak, or maybe you've got prawn hamburger steak instead of beef hamburger steak. That would be one option, but I don't know how big of a fan the streamer's family is of hamburger steak, especially made of seafood. But that might be one option, is a flat patty steak, hamburger steak style, made of prawn. Another option could be making mochi cakes out of the risotto. So ground or pounded risotto into a cake form, wrapped around the prawn in a pigs in a blanket style. So you could make the mochi cake and then wrap it around the prawn, and then steam it with just enough tomato sauce on the inside to, maybe not tomato sauce, but tomato paste, preferentially. A little bit of tomato paste on the inside, just to give it a little bit of umami, as they say, the flavor of protein, of vegetable protein. We call it MSG in some places. That might be one option. Another option could be to create rice noodles, which would essentially just be very thin mochi. Rice noodles and add tomato sauce to the rice noodles. And you might have something like seafood spaghetti, although that might not be all that great. It might be good, might not be, I don't know. Another option could be to make mochi discs out of the risotto, and then just add prawn to it and refrigerate it and serve it as is with maybe a little bit of vinegar and a little bit of olive oil, maybe a couple olives. Another option might be to make the sticky rice. Okay. Let's think. Let's save the sticky rice for last, because that's gonna be as simple as it gets. That's going to be the easiest thing to do. So let's think about rice paper for a second. Rice paper is very difficult to work with. Uh, it's not something you see people working with often because it's a more complicated thing to work with. It falls apart easy. It's not. You have to get it wet. It's easy to contaminate. It's not the easiest substance to work with. It's not the easiest substance to make. That's why people often buy it pre-made. It's not the hardest thing to make, but it's not the easiest. So from the rice paper is often used for candies, often with ginger candy. In theory, I guess. Whoa, what was that? Please, goodness, no, not a bear. So I guess what you could do is make gelatin, I guess, from the tomato, and then dehydrate it, kind of. So it's kind of like ramen egg. So it's kind of like sticky and viscous. And then wrap that in the rice paper. And stick that on a shish kebab with a prawn. I don't know. That might be good, might not be good. Drizzle a little bit of lemon on top, or infuse the tomato with the lemon. Maybe that would be good, maybe not. I don't know. Probably not. Okay, what else could be an option? Now let's think more about the rice paper. So from the rice paper, you could make spring rolls. So that would just be the rice and then maybe tomato bits. So dehydrate the tomato into leather. Break it up into flakes. Now you got tomato flakes. Add that to the rice. Wrap it in rice paper. You got something like a spring roll, like a California roll. Put the prawn in there with it. Maybe chop the prawn up into like finger-sized prawns, so you don't got to worry too much about. Oh my gosh, am I poisoned? I think I am. Oh, I'm soul trapped. Why would he want to soul trap me? Okay, so from the prawn, you oh my gosh. Okay, so you chop up the prawn into bite-sized pieces.
Evening.
Wrap that in the rice paper with the risotto. And maybe put some, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but you can make a form of caviar. These little balls made of liquid. These liquid balls. They're like, not caviar, they're like what's that word? Oh my gosh, what's that word for fish? What's that word for fish eggs? Not, they don't always call it fish eggs. They don't always call it caviar, but it is caviar. But it's made of orange eggs instead of your traditional egg. Well, anyways, you can make those eggs out of you can make those eggs out of oh my gosh, no. You can make those eggs out of the tomato sauce. These tapioca eggs from the tomato sauce, and use those with a little bit of the starch from the rice to make them a bit sticky. And dip the spring roll into a bowl of these tomato bubbles, and serve that. That might look really weird to serve, though. That might not be visually pleasing to eat. It's an idea, though. Let's work from that idea. Let's not necessarily stick to that idea, but let's work with that idea. So, tomato bubbles, that's one option. Sticky tomato bubbles that have been infused with a little bit of rice for stickiness and sweetness and goodness might be an option. What else could you do with these bubbles? Well, you could probably fill the rice paper roll with those bubbles if you wanted to, and a single portion of prawn per wrap, and do it dumpling style, and serve them cold. Another option might be to use the rice paper to wrap around the sticky rice and then add a prawn to that and then deep fry it for a bit of crispiness. Although you might overcook the prawn doing so. Another option could be to barbecue the prawns on a smoker, or not necessarily a smoker, but a fire. So I believe that's called a hibachi in Japan. So you got a little grill, and you have a skewer, and grill those prawns on that skewer, and then maybe have cups made of the tomato leather, and those cups are filled with a portion of risotto or a portion of sticky rice, and in the center of each cup you place one of these marbles made of tomato sauce or tomato juice. And what you do is you remove the skewer, you remove a prawn from the skewer and use it to pop the bubble, and then that juice then pours into the rice, and then you dump the prawn inside of that new solution, and then you drink it from the cup and then eat the cup made of tomato leather. That might be one option. But anyways, I think that's all we're going to do for this stream. So thank you all so much for tuning in. This is a charity stream, so if you get the chance, please check out the links in the description. There are several links there, all to charitable organizations that help out with our natural wildlife and ecosystems. I hope you had a good time here. I had a good time bouncing ideas off you guys. And that is going to be all for this stream. So that is all for now. Goodbye. See you all another time, and good luck to you.